Sharpening SDS rock bits. What we're doing is pretty hard on the bits, and I get, maybe 15. This is a DeWalt SDS Max here. On this particular bit I might get 15 full depth holes before it starts to stick and jam. So what's going on is these flutes, these cutting edges, are tapered just like a regular bit, and so as it wears down, there we can see the shine, as it wears down, you'll notice that they'll get polished. The entire side will get polished. Well, that polishing means it's dragging. Now, they originally have a small kick on them so that the edge that's dragging is quite narrow. As the bit wears, of course, that gets wider and wider, and eventually having all four tips dragging in the hole means that it comes to a stop. I found a way to sharpen them. Understand that I'm sure the manufacturer this is not intended. It's not a normal thing, but they go back and they drill. Each time you sharpen them, there you can see the shine. Each time you sharpen them, they're going to get slightly smaller. I'm using a stone grinding disc. Okay, so this would be for smoothing out. It's a diamond thing. This one happens to be from Harbor Freight, but they call it a diamond turbo cup wheel. That works a lot better. I tried using Carbide. Sorry, not Carbide. I tried using abrasive cutoff wheels, and the material that they're made of, I mean, it's just not going to survive. This works pretty well, and it's reasonably controllable. Here's a bit that I have sharpened, and this one will be good for another 10 holes or so, but I've backed the edge off just slightly, right? Just backed it off that amount on each one of these so that the dragging point is once again just the tips. There you can see the area that I've ground. Right there. Doesn't take long. Doesn't last particularly long. But I might get another, we'll call it 5 to 10 holes. I can do this again. I've gone through a number of different ways of sharpening them and shapes of sharpening them before I finally settled on this one as being the best. So some of my bits I only got one sharpening out of before I butchered them, but these have been going okay now for at least a little bit. The cup wheel cost me about 15 bucks. And you know, this drill bit here is an $80, big one, $80. This again is an SDS Max from DeWalt. You know, and if I get another 10 holes out of it and I can sharpen it twice, that's a doubling of the lifespan easy for a $15 investment. It doesn't take too many sharpened drill bits before the cup wheel is essentially an irrelevant expense. So what I'll do is I'll clamp it up here on the little bench, and I'll show you sharpening, and I'll go ahead and sharpen that 1 inch. This one here is already done. I just roughly clamp it down here. So you can feel it the way the bit twists. It twists like that. So it's turning this direction, which means I want to round that edge off right there. I keep this tipped at an angle, and I try to do a nice even grind. These, at least for a while, have a wear mark, and I try to stay behind that, trying to return the geometry to as close as what DeWalt had in the beginning as I can. Notice I don't do very much, and I don't go very long. Your carbide is not going to handle getting heated up, so you don't want to get too crazy with it. But there it is. Now I've taken it and I've knocked it off, just rolled this edge back slightly. So when the bit is dragging, it'll only be dragging this small sliver, a couple of millimeters of tooth. And as it wears, I'll watch that polish mark sort of march across the face, and once she starts to get more than 3/4 of the way across, the bit will get sticky again. And if you push it until it gets all the way across, then you'll have a real sticky problem. And of course that puts a lot of pressures and is pretty hard on the drill. I'll do another face. So here along this side, you can still see the shine, the polish off of that hopefully. And all I've done is I've rolled this back slightly. So now only the part in front of my thumbnail is all the way proud. And I don't take much, because it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't want to leave this edge unsupported, and you can always come back and touch it up again. And I've been successfully, well, I'm on 3 sharpenings for some of them, and I don't know how much farther it'll go. I guess we'll find out here in a bit. I actually haven't drilled with a third time sharpened drill. Hey, 1 time is already money in the bank there. So that's how I have been sharpening the SDS Carbide steel drill bits.